Hey there, beautiful human. Let's see what our hips and our hamstrings are telling us today. Why don't we? All right, let's get into our first movement here. We're going to get into a wide knee child's pose and we're going to get into a modified push-up position. And when we're getting into that child's pose, let's go ahead and press back into those hips, into those heels, and we're also going to press those arms into the earth to open up those lats, and then coming forward, shoulders over the wrists, and you're coming down, just tapping your head on the mat, kind of like you're praying. Little praying child push-up pose going on here. So a nice little hybrid, leaning back, opening up those hips, and coming down and getting the bonus of a little bit of upper body movement into the mix. Why not, right? You're doing so great. All right, we're gonna hit up our next movement. We're gonna sit in a half straddle, and we're going to rotate that femur, so that entire leg, in the hip socket. So it's a windshield wiper that's with the foot. You'll see it going in and out, but we're actually working the rotators through the hips. So the movement's coming right from the source, internally and externally rotating and pressing the back of that knee, opening up the back of the knee into the earth as we rotate. Opening up those hamstrings, and you'll notice me twisting over that leg a little bit more, and that just gets a little, for me, deeper into the stretch. Feel free to lean forward or sit upright or twist over that leg, whatever feels good to you. What I like to focus on with this mobility drill or movement or whatever you want to call it is pressing and opening up the back of that knee into the earth as we rotate. All right, and that's going to, basically, we're squeezing that quad and getting a little bit more of a stretch opening through that hamstring. All right, other side, and moving back and forth again. And with the hamstrings, that's connected to that first chakra. So that's our basic need for survival. That's kind of where that lives in our body. So just check in with yourself, and where might you be feeling maybe threatened physically, emotionally, psychologically, even on a very subtle level. Hopefully it's nothing too threatening, but anything where you're just feeling like you're not really feeling safe or taking care of yourself, or you can feel like you're able to let go of control and allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable. When we are high functioning in this hamstring area, it's a little easier to feel a little bit more peaceful and honest and trusting and just self-responsible, being able to communicate our needs and whatever it is we need. So opening up those hamstrings, opening up the space to move forward with our lives. And now we're moving forward into this next exercise. I'm not sure what to call this. I guess we would call it a stretchy cat cow. We're going to stretch and alternate with one leg back. We're going to press that heel back, and as we're pressing that heel back, we are going to press that leg into the earth, and that's going to open up that front of that leg at the front of those hips. And then we are, of course, going into that sort of cat-cow position, breathing, opening, mobilizing those hips by squeezing, not just squeezing the quads, but to straighten out that knee, but we're going to press that leg into the earth so that we engage those hip flexors. Beautiful job. Breathing into the heart, breathing into the that chest area, but also breathing into the hips, since that's the area we want to focus on right now. Beautiful, beautiful job. All right, we're going to switch it up one more time. We're heading into, I guess we could call this a seated stroll. We're going to go for a little walk, why don't we? And again, we're going to stretch out those hamstrings, and you are going to gently, keeping your back as straight as you can, just lean over, hinging forward from the hips and pressing and opening up the back of that knee into the earth. Keeping the toes up towards your face, it's going to get a little bit of extra movement and stretch and spaciousness into the calves. Opening up those hamstrings, leaning forward from the hips, and allowing ourselves to let go of control. Where can you allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable and gentle with yourself? And I just find that when I allow myself to trust myself a little bit more, to let go of the reins of control, that need of to survive just kind of eases up a little bit. So just remembering that when we're working those hamstrings. All right, we're going to change it up. We're going to get into the hips a little bit more with a little full body action here. We're going to go into that down dog, and then we're going to go into an up dog. Feel free to modify this if you prefer to go into a cobra, but popping those hips up into the sky and then hinging back and down towards the earth and leading with the front of those hips, the back and the front of those hips, and squeezing the front of the thighs so that we open up those hamstrings as we're opening up those hips. Breathing, pressing back, and reminding ourselves that we have everything it takes to feel strong and powerful and awesome in this body. I love working with the hips. That's the sacral chakra. It's the energetic center of our body that houses creativity and energy and sexuality, and just a really good place to just practice opening up. Yeah, just creativity and emotions that want to flow. All right, and we're going to go into a little spinal twist here, but we're getting into a nice plie squat or sumo squat, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to twist back and forth. And as what I'm doing here is I'm pressing that hand just above the knee, so into the side of that thigh, and then I'm pressing the thigh into the hand so that we activate the front of those hips and those adductors and internal rotators of the hips. So pressing back with the hand and pressing forward with the thigh so that we activate those thigh muscles. Gently, gently releasing the past so that we're more excited about moving into the future. Think about the hips, how they hold your legs, and that's what moves you forward in through your around about your life, right? So nice little metaphor just to remember while we're moving through these exercises. All right, now we're going to do a little windmill good morning hybrid. So we're coming down and again opening up the back of the legs by squeezing the quads so that opens up the hamstrings, and then we're going to squeeze the glutes to open up the hips when we stand up. So now they're working together, bring yourself down and elongating that torso as you twist around, wringing the spine out like a towel. You can also apply a little extra pressure with your hands into the side of the calves there, just to bring you in a little bit more, get a little bit deeper into that stretch. But do whatever feels comfortable with your body. I would say the most important thing is just coming down far enough where you can still keep those knees straight, squeezing the quad and able to squeeze the glutes at the top. So get into that full hip extension. Nice job. Awesome. We are almost there. Here we go. This is the last one. We've got these walking pike taps. I'm not sure what else to call them besides that. But we're in a pike position, kind of like a down dog. And we're going to just reach, and as we squeeze the quad to open up the back of those hamstrings, we are going to reach across to the opposite foot and just tap on the outside of that foot. It's going to get you a little deeper into the back of those legs. And remember to breathe, and just remember that you are freaking awesome. And just feeling into what your body's telling you today. Where can you allow yourself to be a little more open, a little more vulnerable? Maybe let some of that shiznit go so that we can more gently and more excitedly move into our future. Allowing ourselves to be a little bit more loving, a little bit more accepting, and a little more expressive. All right, thanks so much for being my workout buddy, and we'll see you on the next one.